In professional football, some careers are built in the spotlight, while others are shaped quietly behind the scenes, driven by preparation, adaptability, and timing. The story of Anthony Lynn is one of steady progression, sharp turns, and constant reinvention. It is not a tale of overnight success, but of long years spent learning the game from the inside, earning trust, and navigating the thin line between opportunity and uncertainty. This documentary explores how Anthony Lynn built his career, the challenges that defined it, and why his name has returned to serious discussion right now. This story covers the full arc of Anthony Lynn's journey, from his early life and education to his rise through professional football, his most visible achievements, the setbacks that tested his reputation, and the recent events that have pushed him back into the public conversation. By understanding this timeline, it becomes easier to see why his career continues to matter and what his future may still hold. Long before national attention followed him, Anthony Lynn grew up in an environment where discipline and structure mattered. From an early age, he showed a strong interest in sports, particularly football, not just as a game, but as a system of strategy and teamwork. While many young athletes focus only on physical ability, Anthony Lynn developed an early curiosity about how plays were designed, how decisions were made, and how leadership on the field translated into results. His education played a significant role in shaping this mindset. During his school years, football was not simply an extracurricular activity, but a central part of his routine. Coaches noticed his reliability, his ability to absorb instruction, and his willingness to take responsibility. These traits helped him stand out, even when he was not always the most naturally gifted athlete on the field. He learned quickly that preparation could compensate for raw talent, a lesson that would later define his professional philosophy. As he moved into higher levels of competition, Anthony Lynn continued to balance academics with athletics. His time in college football exposed him to more complex systems, faster competition, and higher expectations. It was here that his understanding of the game deepened significantly. He studied opponents closely, learned the importance of adaptability, and gained first-hand experience of how small decisions could change the outcome of an entire season. These years laid the foundation for his later transition into coaching. After completing his playing career, Anthony Lynn faced the difficult reality that many former players encounter. Staying in the game requires a complete shift in mindset. Instead of preparing his own body, he now had to prepare others. Instead of reacting on the field, he needed to anticipate from the sidelines. His entry into coaching did not come with instant recognition. It began with lower-level roles that demanded long hours, limited authority, and constant evaluation. In these early coaching positions, Anthony Lynn focused heavily on fundamentals. He worked closely with players, refining technique, reinforcing discipline, and emphasizing consistency. These roles rarely attracted media attention, but they were essential in building his reputation among colleagues. Over time, other coaches recognized his ability to communicate complex ideas in simple terms and his willingness to adjust schemes based on personnel rather than forcing rigid systems. Gradually, his responsibilities increased. He moved into more prominent assistant roles, where his influence on offensive planning became more visible. This period marked the beginning of his rise to wider recognition. Teams under his influence began to show improved efficiency, particularly in balancing aggressive play calling with situational awareness. His work earned him opportunities at higher levels, placing him closer to decision-making power. The turning point in Anthony Lynn's career came when he stepped into leadership roles that carried national visibility. As expectations grew, so did scrutiny. Successes were amplified, but so were mistakes. His teams showed flashes of strong performance, periods where systems clicked and players executed with confidence. These moments reinforced his reputation as a capable leader who understood both the strategic and human sides of football. However, with greater responsibility came greater pressure. Over multiple seasons, inconsistencies began to appear. Injuries, roster limitations, and in-game decisions became topics of debate. Analysts questioned whether his approach could consistently deliver results at the highest level. While some praised his player-focused leadership style, Others argued that adaptability during critical moments remained a challenge. These struggles became an unavoidable part of his public narrative. Like many coaches, Anthony Lynn faced seasons where expectations were not met. Losses accumulated, confidence was tested, and organizational changes followed. Eventually, he found himself stepping away from the most visible positions, returning instead to roles that required rebuilding trust and refining strategy behind the scenes. This phase of his career, though quieter, proved to be deeply formative. Away from constant headlines, Anthony Lynn reassessed his methods. He studied evolving trends in the sport, including changes in offensive philosophy, player usage, and analytical decision-making. He worked within new systems, learned from other coaching styles, and adapted his own approach to fit a league that was rapidly changing. Now, this brings us to the most important question and the most talked about part of his story. Why is Anthony Lynn trending right now? The current surge in attention around Anthony Lynn did not come from a single dramatic moment, but from a combination of timing, opportunity, and renewed evaluation of his career. The trend began during a recent period of organizational reshuffling across professional football, when teams started re-examining experienced coaches for key roles. As franchises looked for stability, development-focused leadership, and institutional knowledge, names like Anthony Lynn resurfaced in serious discussions. Media coverage played a crucial role in amplifying this trend. Analysts revisited his past seasons with a more balanced lens, separating individual decisions from broader organizational challenges. In doing so, many pointed out that some of the issues previously attributed solely to him were part of larger structural problems. This reevaluation led to renewed respect for his adaptability and experience. At the same time, interviews and behind-the-scenes reports began circulating, highlighting Anthony Lynn's growth since his earlier leadership roles. He spoke openly about lessons learned, mistakes made, and changes in his philosophy. These comments resonated in a league increasingly focused on self-awareness and continuous improvement. Fans and commentators alike began sharing clips and quotes, sparking online discussion. Another key factor was performance context. Teams that struggled in areas once associated with Anthony Lynn's strengths reignited debate about his value. Comparisons emerged between current systems and those he previously managed, leading some analysts to argue that his approach may have been ahead of its time in certain respects. This contrast made people ask why his name was not being considered more prominently. The trend also reflects a broader shift in how coaching careers are judged. Rather than defining individuals solely by peak success or failure, there is now more emphasis on long-term contribution and adaptability. In this environment, Anthony Lynn's career arc appears more complex and, to many, more respectable than earlier narratives suggested. What makes this renewed attention particularly significant is that it arrives during a moment when experience is once again being valued. Younger coaches dominate headlines, but organizations are also recognizing the importance of mentors who understand locker room dynamics, player development, and organizational pressure. Anthony Lynn fits squarely into this category, making his resurgence in discussion especially relevant. Public reaction to this renewed attention has been mixed but engaged. Supporters argue that he deserves another major opportunity, pointing to his resilience and willingness to evolve. Critics remain cautious, emphasizing inconsistencies and questioning whether adjustments will translate into results. Media coverage reflects this divide, presenting balanced analyses rather than definitive judgments. As of now, Anthony Lynn remains active within professional football circles, contributing his experience while staying prepared for future opportunities. Whether his next chapter involves a return to a high-profile leadership role or continued influence behind the scenes, his presence continues to shape conversations about coaching longevity and growth. In the long term, the legacy of Anthony Lynn may be defined less by individual seasons and more by his example of persistence. His career illustrates how progress in professional sports is rarely linear. It involves adaptation, accountability, and the willingness to learn from both success and failure. For younger coaches and players, his journey offers a realistic portrait of what it means to stay relevant in a constantly evolving league. As this renewed attention shows, careers in football are never truly finished until the conversation stops.
Right now, people are talking about Anthony Lynn again, not because of nostalgia, but because his experience aligns with the needs of the present moment. Whether this leads to a major comeback or a lasting influence in quieter roles, his story continues to unfold. If you want more deep analytical documentaries like this, exploring the real stories behind names you hear every day, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay connected for the next chapter.